Quick spoiler warning for Book 8 of the series, Tiamat's Wrath. You've been warned. Alrighty, let's get started. Today on First Pass we're going to do a bit more of speculation onto the possibility of a surviving stealth ship that was seen decades after their initial flight of 9 Amun-Ra class, which were lost during the events of the first couple books and seasons respectively. This mysterious vessel was the Nang Kwak, and we'll look into what it could mean if it really is a stealth ship. I do apologize for butchering any names, sorry. Without further ado, to answer the question of whether the Nang Kwak really is a surviving stealth ship, it's actually both yes and no. While it is not as simply provided if you jump to the simplest conclusion that it is just another Amun-Ra vessel, which it can't be. This is because, as is shown in Space Stock's official breakdown of the class, all vessels were dismantled, disabled, or destroyed. And for the yes part of it, in the book Tiamat's Wrath, it is explicitly described as a stealth ship. And yes, I do understand there's a slight difference in canon continuity between the books and the TV show, but I do believe that the two of them can complement one another to fill in gaps of knowledge. Well, that's not a very satisfying answer, so we'll dive a little bit deeper to see what the vessel really is. What is written about the ship does point to some similarities that makes a case for it having some relation to the much earlier Amun-Ra class. The Nang in the books was specifically described as a stealth ship, which is the same designator as the Amun-Ra class was in the books, though it is not a guaranteed match due to some ships with stealth features were also known to have been operated by the MCRN, so there is some ambiguity. Another line of evidence comes from the fact that the vessel was considered 2 generations out of date, which lines up nicely with its design being 40 years old, and generations usually being considered roughly 20 years apiece, so make of that what you will. Another, though tenuous, connection was that it was operated by a private security company, which definitely bears some similarities to Protogen's usage of their own fleet of stealth ships. Admittedly, it is very speculative, though it does raise many questions. Assuming it was in fact a stealth ship of the likes of the Amun-Ra class vessels, the biggest question becomes how could it have survived? With only 9 produced, and all of them more or less destroyed, it would have come down to the possibility that one could have been rebuilt using surviving parts, or even a full reproduction build from old plans. A total reproduction is unlikely, however, due to the difficulty of producing a whole new vessel from scratch, along with the likeliness of better designs having been produced since. That leaves us with it being a rebuilt vessel as a remaining likely option. It's not that crazy of an idea as it first sounds, and this is because one of the original 9 ships was actually left in a disabled state with its hull intact. This was the Osiris, the last remaining stealth ship that dueled the Rossi in its defensive Thoth station. It had succumbed to PDC fire and decompression, both of which could be repaired with a moderate amount of effort and resources. It is entirely possible that a third party, such as a private security company, had obtained the hull of the Osiris through some backdoor means, and after some reverse engineering and a lot of repair work, it could have been recommissioned as the fully functional Nang Kwak. And for an additional connection, it is actually named after the Thai goddess of fortune and prosperity, which would follow the deity-inspired naming conventions used by the original Amun-Ra class, such as the Anubis and so forth. There is also a third, though extremely unlikely, possibility that was just a unique vessel that was merely inspired by the Amun-Ra class. Though it would be incredibly difficult to independently develop a whole new series of stealth ships, with the technology required being extremely regulated considering their classified nature. On a final note, the Amun-Ra class is easily one of my favorite warship designs to come out of the Expanse. The compact angular lines of the ship, along with its dedication to advanced stealth and railgun technology, makes it a dangerous yet mysterious class. Just had to fanboy a little bit on this one. And with that, we speculated into the possible continuation of the infamous stealth ships long after their heyday. If you have ideas or suggestions for other verses or analyses, please comment below. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to go and support us on Patreon, like and subscribe for more content, and remember, this was your first pass at the origins of the Nang Kwak.